Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen. I come here today to make a toast to me and my shadow. I come here today to give thanks to me and my shadow. I come here today to tell you the story about how me and my shadow, through callousing our spirit, broke out from the shell of an introvert and grew into an extrovert. See, I haven't always been the outgoing, confident, social Toastmaster I am today. There was a time after leaving high school, exactly 5 years ago, when I hid in my books and my poetry. I barely left home for months at a time, and I was afraid of the outside world. Unfortunately for my comfortable self, this was all about to change. Because like many of you in this room, I had a mother. Raise your hand if you have a mother. Well, my mum, with all her motherly love, really wanted me to get a job. And with a bit of motherly nag, one day she circled a few job advertisements in the newspaper. And she said to me that I should apply for them, or else when she got home, I would be a victim of her motherly wrath. So looking at the three she circled, one caught my eye. Charity fundraiser. I thought to myself in that moment, gee, I wouldn't mind making a difference in my life. So I called up the number listed, spoke to the lady on the phone, and she said, come in this evening, we're having group interviews. So I went to an interview, sat down, nervously, just listening to what they had to say. It was one of those interviews where they did all the talking, thank goodness, for my nervous self. But at the end, they said, come in on Monday, you start training. I had landed my first job, and I hadn't even handed in a resume. Give me a round of applause. What was the job? Raising funds for kids with cystic fibrosis and other life-threatening illnesses in cafes, bars, restaurants. I would have to go in, approach customers, and ask them for any spare change. My first night, my first task, pulse breath at Marina Mirage. I got there at 6:30 p.m. to go in and collect funds, but I didn't go in immediately. Instead, I sat at a bus stop outside because I was nervous. I sat there trying to squirm myself out of my comfort zone, trying to push myself to do something I had never done before, which is to approach people. But after a full half hour of sitting there, I took a deep breath and I took my lead. I went in, approached the first table with my box, said, excuse me, just raising funds for kids with cystic fibrosis. And the next, excuse me, just raising funds for kids with cystic fibrosis. And the next, and the next. Even though this was very hard for me, what happened after a few days in the job was that fear of approach started to wear off. After a few more days, my regard for rejection started to wear off. But after a few weeks, that's when the real change happened. I felt something I had never felt before in my life. Confidence. Instead of being really shy, I could walk into a joint, very confident, tall, walk up to a table and say, excuse me, just raising funds for Riley. He's 3 years old and he has cystic fibrosis. Do you have any spare change? In short, I stayed with this charity raising funds for kids for 3 months, approaching angry diners and building up confidence like I never had before. So a few months later, when I transitioned into university, people I met thought that I had always been like this outgoing, confident guy. But I wasn't always. There was a time when I stood or sat at a bus stop, nervous, And many people who meet me at Toastmasters might see the same thing. But as Toastmasters, I want you to think of yourself. Was there a time when you walked through that door for the first time when you were shy, nervous, and lacking a bit of confidence? How far have you come from that person who has walked in that door since the first time you walked in that door? Because I remember the person who sat at that bus stop, shy and nervous and afraid of getting out of his comfort zone. And I will never forget that person. Because if I forget how far I have come, I might forget how far I can go. And if you guys forget how far you have come, you might forget how far you can go. And with that, a toast to us and all of our shadows. Madam Toastmaster.